Hello everybody. This video is about emotions, how I work with emotions which are sometimes stuck or held in the body. And yeah, I have example from my early childhood where I lost two parts of finger. You see, this one doesn't have even nail, and this one is some kind of combination of those two nails which they put together in the hospital. And yeah, it was from circular saw experience where the circular saw was rotating. I was a small child playing, probably not enjoying the moment, not really paying attention. And then it comes, then it stuck in this rotatory end, and it was, and this was so brutal pain that it was so overwhelming emotion of pain, which I can't mm, I can let in that moment through my body. I cannot just experience that emotion and just let it go as a small child. It simply stuck there. And I knew that because on my first therapy before many years, it was first thing which came up. So it was clear that it was simply there, and it was so much heavy stone felt of my emotional life, which I even didn't knew is there, but it was fantastic simply. And so it begins with the overwhelming emotion. It could be whatever, like you see your father is kicked out by somebody, or some violence, some big fear that something happens, or some pain which is so big that the mental system is simply not ready to process it. So there is uh, automatic body protecting mechanism, so to live more and not being stuck in that brutal emotion, that it simply keep it somewhere in the body, depending on type of emotion, and then it stays there. And in my case, it mm, it starts popping out into the similar situation. Like I started to feel pain by situation, or fear by situation which was somehow connected to that previous moment. So there was kind of trigger of that same emotion during my life, and probably it was even sadness, because I was after very sad that this happens to me. So I was constantly in some level of sadness, which is which was just taking my energy, basically, which was just constant waste of energy, which I was not much aware, but the life was working for me in the way to giving me more and more those situations in my field which triggers that, because the life knew better than me that I was maybe really open to surface that. And it happens first on that therapy where I really go into myself and into that moment that allow myself to surface that. And it was like crying for me, and I knew there was something held and released, and yeah. And if I didn't do, I could, if I didn't open myself through therapy, through whatever, it doesn't have to be therapy, it could be just sitting and closing eyes, and trying to feel what is the most uh, present emotion right in that moment, because we have the answer in ourselves. I have it. It's just uh, it's just opening. And yeah, if I didn't do, then it can stuck more, and I would be. It would lead to disease slowly. I, I I would start consciously probably fixing that, and usually in early stages when I was just simply too much sad, I was eating more, and it kind of tried to give me some good feeling to replace that negative feeling. Because there was energy gap. I was wasting my energy to sadness, and so I was filling that gap with whatever sweet desserts. But it doesn't fit somehow. It is not the same. The thing which I desperately want was to release that program, which was this whole. I was not made here to fix it permanently with the deserts, or so. And essentially, it could go further because it could lead really to some disease. And of course, Western medicine have medicaments, painkillers, and in the end, it would manifest in the body really physically as some whatever tumor or whatever. It starts really slowly, but when we just trying to fix that with the wrong thing, it cannot work. The root cause is clear, and yeah, so basically, for me, it's the essence to find always the emotion. It doesn't have to be through therapy, like to go to some past life or to present life, early childhood, and find the exact situation in the mind, what happens. As I had this experience first time, probably it was better for me because I was not so open emotionally to just believe some emotions without naming it, without seeing the situation. But it's not necessary. It's in the end, for me, it was always just connecting with that emotion now and allow it to feel it, to go in, and reserve a time for it, and simply see uh, how it works, because we have this inner navigation. We are the only doctors for ourselves, and everybody has probably a slightly different method how to release stuck and hold emotion, which are first maybe unseen, then they are triggered by the similar situation, and usually they came up to surface very raw as a anger. I had, for example, a lot of anger with my child. I was always like very calm person, but as soon as my child was born, I was so angry. It was meeting like different me, and I was so unhappy with that emotion. But yeah, it stuck for years. I couldn't expect very nice sunshine. It was simply shit what was coming out of me. So and so it came raw out, and it's just repeat multiple times till it was clear for me that it is something, it is opportunity to see something, to maybe replace that emotion with something elevated, to see that it's not necessary, this reaction, like situation and emotional reaction, it could be separate, those two. I don't have to, because this was my part, like to connect this trigger with the result emotion. This is some part where we have 100% influence. And if we, and I sometimes didn't believe that, because it seems to be so much coupled, this trigger and the emotion, like the anger or the sadness or whatever. So when I didn't believe, I asked my higher self or my uh, guidance to help me in that, and it suddenly disconnect. Or I had a dream where I saw somebody else which doesn't, which has uh, like ton more trigger than me, but it doesn't trigger anything on the emotional side. Like, and it was so clear. For me, I wake up after this dream. And say, how is it that possible? How? But no, it was not anymore a question. I saw it is like that. No, there is no trigger which has to cause specific emotion. And it was not anymore suppressing that emotion. It was just option to see that, and whenever the same situation again happen to trigger such kind of sadness or anger, uh, then it was never felt so. There was maybe some kind of initial like, and then it was like, ah, it was like disconnected. And of course, those situation starts falling away. And before I had even pattern to try to replace it, like pushing any other emotion like love and happiness instead of anger. It was kind of mental play and it never works. It was like pushing myself on some nice thing, and this was again even overbeaten. Yeah, so this is my experience. I hope you have a lot of other interesting ways how to deal with stuck emotions, because it's getting our energy away, and especially in prana transition or on our spiritual path, it's unnecessary. We need to keep our energy. We need to keep it alive. So happy to hear any comments from your ways how to deal with stuck emotions. And ciao.